All right, we are on the Big Show TV. Finally. Hello, Dr. Geraldine Tan. Annyeonghaseyo. Coming to you live, ladies and gentlemen, from Incheon International Airport.
Yes, and we made it happen. Yay!
Yay!
Was there any doubt?
Well, we like to live on the edge.
I mean, we've got Shalini and Cheyenne here. Of course, I had full confidence in them, and you.
And then
as
we
well.
hear crickets buzz. We always have full confidence. How are you, Dr. Jerry? I know, in case you're wondering why this angel looks so different today, she's on holiday. So it's Tim. Nice to see you. It's been a long time.
Yes, it is. It's been a long, long time. Yes. And we just made it because we also just touched down. The plane was delayed.
That's why I'm saying you're so amazing. I mean, if I were you, I would just tell us, I think this week you get another guest, But you're so dedicated.
That will happen for next week because y'all will be at Mandai.
That's true. And I told you to take the day off.
Yes, I will. The whole setup is here. I'm going to show you. It's really cute. I've got my donut here.
Wow, look at that.
She carries that everywhere she goes.
Brought a ring light across the oceans. Okay.
Ring lights.
I'll show you. We're on the radio or we're on the Big Show TV?
Big Show TV now, but we're going to go on air in about 2 minutes.
Wow.
You will see my team.
Yeah, look, we can see. She's giving us a tour of the airport. This is the airport, right?
But more importantly, look at the crew. Look at the crew.
My team is there.
Look at the team.
Look at that. Yeah.
Team therapy room.
Yeah, they're like, wow, you show us.
How long was the flight, Jerry?
About 6+ hours.
Okay, right?
Yeah,
Easy peasy, 6 hours.
The pilot was really good. The pilot was really good.
What is the time difference there? What time is it there now?
It is 9:15 now, so 1 hour ahead.
Oh, not too bad. Okay. All right. And have you had your breakfast yet? I want to know what a Korean breakfast is like. Oh. What's in the basket? Okay, bread. All right. Toast.
Have you seen Jerry's figure? No? My goodness, if she eats the way we eat, she won't have the figure she has.
Oh, she's very dedicated in the way she works out and maintains her physique.
Yeah. What is that? Coffee. There you go. Coffee. With or without milk?
Without milk. I need the caffeine boost.
I'm so glad that we get to talk to Dr. Jerry today. You know, it's all about mental wellness as well. Because as a parent, I feel my mental wellness is going to be very tested from next week onwards because school holiday is starting.
Oh.
Yeah, the kids at home, and I know a lot of fellow parents also dealing with the same thing. We're going to go nuts, right?
Which is good. I mean, you've got Jerry today, and on Friday, I just want to announce right now, since you mentioned, our parenting guru, Kelly Tay, will be with us.
Yeah, see, Kiss 92, keeping you alive and well.
Okay, so Jerry, we're going to talk about the mental health of the Koreans today.
Not of the Koreans, about the mental health landscape in Singapore as well as in Korea.
I see. I was wondering why. Why are we talking about the mental health of the Koreans? Is it because they are a bit more stressed out there? Everyone wants to be a K-pop star.
There's a lot of pressure there, I'm sure. All right, Dr. Jerry.
I've got an audience in front of me. My team is giggling at what you are saying. Oh my goodness.
You must what do you call, fly the Singapore flag there. Tell them we're celebrating our 60th year, SG60. But okay, so tell us, where are we going today? As in, go ahead.
What are we talking about, right? So since we're coming to Korea, and it's very, very exciting. Why Korea, right? Because Korea and Singapore share a lot of similarities where we are both very Asian in mindset. So there's a lot of traditional mindsets that we have. Just take, for example, the safe face, the face issue. Whether you're in Singapore or whether you're in Korea, this issue is very prevalent, which may then prevent people from coming forward. So we talk about the stigma, and we can talk about it later on also. And in terms of the economy, we're quite similar. Both countries are rather similar. So that's why we can compare across these two countries also. And if we talk about crisis, I mean, during the COVID period, we had a huge spike in suicide rates. And in Korea, we do know that there is a high number of suicides. So that's why we are here also to explore what they are doing about it, what policies are in place, perhaps some best practices that they might have.
Okay, so why are you in Korea with your team? Are you guys there for a seminar, convention, something?
No, so it is really exciting. This is the first time that we are doing this. We are on a learning journey. So we
Oh.
are here to visit 6 different centers. So 2 suicide prevention centers, a national mental health center, a home for rehabilitation for mental well-being, and another mental health center. So
Wow,
6
that's
centers.
that's a lot to cover. How long is your entire trip?
We are here. So after this, we're going to just dump our luggages, and we are going to 2 different centers.
Yeah, but how
So
long
it's-
is this trip?
Yeah.
You and your team, you're going to be there for how many days?
We're going to be here for 4 days.
That's a lot to cover in 4 days, right?
She's quite a hard boss, by the way. But then again, I mean, it's quite an incentive for the team, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Always keeping it interesting for her staff.
Yeah, got time to sightsee not? Put on the humbox and then go and take pictures.
No, Hamburg, no, right? No.
Oh,
But
she's
they
checking
are
with them.
already planning.
Yeah?
They're already planning to go cosmetic shopping, I think.
Oh, of course, right?
Oh, I thought she was going to say costume shopping. I can look like BTS or Blackpink. Annyeonghaseyo!
No.
No, okay. That'd be great for mental health.
No, I don't think so. I think they are very stressed.
Don't forget to get masks for Shalini and Cheyenne. I know they like these masks from Korea. Shalini gave me, I think, she
okay.
gave me one. I haven't used it yet.
Okay. The animal one or no?
What else do you girls want? You want lipstick, eyeshadow?
I think I have too much from
eyebrow.
my last trip
Oh.
already. But thank you.
Okay, no need then. No need.
Coming to Korea is good for mental well-being, right?
Yeah.
Because you can get all these things here.
Yeah.
But we're not looking. Looking
Okay.
at that.
Okay, all right.
We're looking at the similarities and the differences in both countries.
Okay, so are we talking? Because you said you're going to a couple of suicide centers. That sounds
Yeah.
wrong. What do you call them again?
Suicide prevention centers.
That's
Suicide
right.
prevention.
Suicide prevention.
Yeah, that's a very
centers,
important
yeah.
word must
Yeah.
use, okay? The prevention, not just suicide centers, yeah. All right, but I mean, based on what you've seen or what you've heard so far, are they very advanced when it comes to, taking care of mental welfare, mental wellness?
They're very involved and they're very dedicated. So I do know that they're very committed and very enthusiastic. So the professors that we've been speaking to are nothing but helpful. They are very excited to have us here to teach us, to share with us some of their research as well as some of the ways that they do things here. So
I
we are
see.
very excited to really go in and learn from them.
It's nice that you're so enthusiastic about this because it's so important that we keep our suicide rates down. In Singapore. When we last spoke, you said during the COVID period, the suicidal rates were up. Is it
Yes.
coming down now? Is it much better?
So it's dropped since COVID, definitely. But I think I would stand with what Jasper said. So Jasper is the ED of FOS, right? And he says one life lost is still one life too many to lose. And I think that is why we want to ensure that it doesn't happen. But it is not only about suicide prevention, it's also about mental well-being. So a few years ago, Korea actually rolled out a nationwide mental health checkup. I think you all have heard me talk about, my center doing mental health checkup for seniors. And we did a really, really lovely and big one with a lot of partners at the beginning of this year. But just keeping with the seniors is not enough. All of us need to also go for our mental health checkup, just like our physical health and dental health checkup. So I do want to come to Korea to find out how do they manage to roll it out nationwide for across different age groups.
Okay, so how can we as individuals here in Singapore go for our mental health checks? Can we do it
I don't
at the therapy room?
So we are looking into that, and we are going to roll out something soon. Maybe not in this quarter, maybe in the next couple of quarters, where it is faster, it's simpler, and definitely more affordable. Because a lot of people would say that mental health, you go for one counseling session or consultation, it costs a lot of money. So we want to keep that cost down and to see how for you to come in for your mental health checkup to see how stressed you are, what else you can do. So maybe a quick 30 minutes, but this is really preliminary. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so for example,
Yeah.
okay, for example, right? So Jerry doesn't want to see me. I've been wanting to to lie down on her couch.
She don't want to open a can of worms, bro.
That's why. It's just because we are
Tell
friends.
me about your problems. We'll go on for
Conflict of
10
interest.
years. Okay.
Conflict of interest. So I'm seeing another girl.
Ayo.
Just kidding. So as and when I'll see one of her,
Yeah.
one of her colleagues, and we always have a good time.
Right.
I'll be in there for an hour and stuff like that. And I've seen her now for off and on quite a number of sessions. So does it mean that she has already assessed me?
Yep. So the assessment is done within the first 2 sessions.
Oh,
To
wow.
see, yeah.
I'm in the
so we
clear.
go in-
Okay. So here's a question. As someone who's never gone for a mental health checkup or screening, what does the assessment entail?
So they would look whatever issues you bring to the. Okay, if we are talking about a normal sort of consultation where you go in and you do have a problem, so that's what I'm basing it on. Okay, so you come in for a work problem or perhaps a friendship problem. Then the therapist will speak with you about it and look at what might an issue be before working on the goals. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Mental health checkup, it is to look at your wellness, your social wellness, your physical wellness, whether you are stressed, intellectual wellness. Yeah, so these are the different areas that possibly they might be checking into.
Right.
If we're looking at a more chemical aspect, so we're looking at machines that can actually test the tension level of your body.
While you are getting educated, we're getting educated as well when it comes to mental health checkups. Now, earlier on, you mentioned that, yes, we should prioritize mental health checkups. Same way we go for our physicals, we should also go for these type of checkups as well. One will take, how long did you say, 20 minutes to an hour? A checkup?
So it really depends, right? So we want to cut down the timing. So with our seniors, we do it about half an hour
Right.
for checkup, but we combine it with something very fun because for our seniors, that particular group of people, they have not grown up with going to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and it can be quite intimidating for them. So
Right.
for them, we will combine it with activities.
I see. Now, I mean, I'm asking this for me as well because I've never gone for
I
one of
bring you,
these.
bro. I bring you.
bring me? Okay. Come
No,
back with more
but go ahead.
problems.
I mean, ask
all right.
her-
I want to
ask
know,
her.
like, is there like a checklist, like a standard list of questions that you run through for someone that you're trying to assess or who's going for their checkups?
So we do have a standard checklist. So psychologists love all their surveys and love their checklists. And then we score you. There's a score sheet also to see whether you pass or fail. But it is very quick. So the ones that we're looking at are very quick. But I'm looking at something even faster and also to combine it with the physiological. So that's what we're also exploring.
I love
Yeah.
my therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one tomorrow actually. So I mean, you wait for something to happen, lah.
Yes.
Okay, so when my father passed, the first thing I did was I saw a psychologist.
Yes.
Okay, and then psychologists will tell you if you're okay or not.
Okay, but
You know what I mean?
should you have to wait for something to happen, or do you
No,
go
you
for these
can-
regular ones at least? What would you
You can
suggest,
suka
Dr.
suka
Jerry?
go also, no problem.
Once a year, every 6 months. What are you looking at?
So for those that have issues, we would usually see them weekly, and then we spread out the sessions if they are able to manage. So for some of them, we do check-ins, quick check-ins like every quarterly or every twice a year, if they are able to manage. So there is actually one of actually two expatriates that would come for the annual check-in with me. They will always just book 1 year with me, and it's been going on for a number of years already. And some years are more difficult than others. So for those years, they will book more sessions or closer sessions.
It's actually very good because
Yep.
we can all talk to our friends, but our friends are not experts. So you want to talk to the professionals once
Specialists.
in a while. You kind of like combine everything, and you feel great.
Yeah.
A little whiskey. The whiskey doesn't work. You talk to a therapist. Therapist doesn't work. You talk to a bunch of friends, and then
Just go and see Dr. Jerry. One last question. Now, you mentioned there are a lot of similarities, between the citizens of Korea and the citizens here in Singapore. Now, when it comes to prioritizing mental wellness, are they very big on? I'm talking about the people, not the practitioners, but the people themselves, the population. Are they way more open to prioritizing mental wellness?
Yes, so that's something that really surprised me. So we have actually a 4-year-old that comes to us for a behavioral issue, a condition, okay, called selective mutism, and it was her grandpa that had seen psychological videos and told the mom who is staying in Singapore to bring the little girl to us. And I saw the grandpa, and he was so amazing. I mean, he was a stoic, traditional grandpa, but he's so forward in his thinking. So I guess really open to mental well-being, just really that well-being, and not waiting for something to happen. So
Alright.
I think how we can pick up on the youth part of things, because Tim, you were talking about the youth, and the stressors that some youth, and not only the parents, are going through.
But we're just happy you're with us this morning.
2 weeks time, Japan, and we are looking for centers.
Yes, I
to-
imagine Japan would have a lot more suicide prevention centers, right? Because, we've heard a lot of stories about how stressful things get. And unfortunately, some very tragic stories as well involving people and their mental state of well-being.
Yeah, but we'll leave Japan for another day. We are being present now by staying with Korea, and we're looking at the youth mental health, and we are actually invited for the campaign, anti-stigma campaign, by a youth university group, I think, tomorrow afternoon. So we are very, very honored to be part of that whole launch of that campaign.
Right.
So we're very excited.
Okay, so I mean, just based on your trip, right? What are you most excited to learn? on this trip to Korea?
Yeah, because we have a lot of parents, especially this group of listeners that tune in to us, right? They are parents of children who are probably in their teens already because they follow, Glenn and Angel for a long time. So the children have also grown up in their teens. And we know that in Korea, the students are really, really stressed, with the academics, with, the idea of getting a good job, of getting into the university. So the high stress is very similar to Singapore. And, the anxiety level, the stress level is also what we are experiencing with our youth in Singapore. So that is something I would like to learn from them. How are they trying to mitigate it in Korea,
So, Jerry,
right?
what's the difference between anxiety and depression? For someone who's going through, we did mention the word anxiety quite a number of times, but then,
Yes.
there is also depression. Does anxiety lead to depression?
No, they are actually really good friends, but they can come independently also. So your depression, you will see them, low in energy, crying, unable to eat, anxiety, you see heart palpitation. There's a lot of physiological sort of the manifestation, the sweating, the nausea, even, yeah, the racing thoughts, yeah.
Ooh, that sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
But I'm thinking like so is depression, right?
that
For
is
people
true.
who are
Yeah.
depressed, right? It's like,
It is.
I mean, she
Yeah,
calls it,
yeah.
they said they're very good friends. I think
Yeah.
they're like the terror twins.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
one is bad enough.
Yeah.
You don't want to have both, right?
No.
So I guess it's very
But
important.
some-
I mean, that you're learning, about all these things, and of course how they are, they're taking this information and then relating it to the youth as well, because you do want to start them at a young age to learn to recognize these signs and of course to prioritize their mental well-being.
Correct. And we also want to learn how to destigmatize. Although that we have a lot of education in Singapore, we talk about it really, really freely. And I really must give a shout out to Kids 92, where you all have done it for more than 5 years already, bringing on mental well-being onto the show and talking about it for many people to know about it. But there's still a lot of fear, when we talk about being diagnosed with something. And many people don't want the label, which prevents them from obtaining the appropriate help, or adequate help. So they think that they can go off and help themselves, but maybe they need chemical help, or they just need a professional to sit with them to give them a small mindset change.
yeah.
Mm,
I,
but
I can't I can't emphasize how important it is to see a professional.
Yeah.
There are things that I want to say on the show, and Jerry, I've said quite a lot, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
try and
yeah.
share as much as possible,
Yeah.
even about my personal life as well. But I feel like I want to share some more,
Yeah.
but I don't think our Kiss 92 listeners can take it. It's true, but
Yeah.
it's
But
so
are you
important.
comfortable? Are you comfortable?
I'm always
Okay,
comfortable,
because
bro.
I don't know if everybody
Which
is
is
that
why
comfortable.
which is why I can't do a podcast, because if I do a podcast, everything is going to go upside down, because
Yeah.
I'll feel like I can say everything and anything, but whether it's accepted in
in society, yeah.
that's another story altogether. But I feel like if you were to see a professional, you need to pour your soul.
Yeah,
It's not like going for confession. I mean, I'm Catholic, right? You go for confession, right? Are you confessing every single thing? Most of the time, no.
Yes,
You know
I
what I
think mainly because
you're
you don't-
afraid to freak the priest out.
That's exactly it. You
Exactly.
hit the nail on the head. But I mean, Dr. Jerry, you touched on the stigma, right? What do you think the biggest pointers of that stigma are? What do you think is the biggest obstacle why people don't actually seek professional help?
I think we are in transition, but when we say we are in transition, it means the previous generation who know the importance of mental health have not grown up with it, and their language is still very archaic, it's still from their parents, and they still hold certain beliefs and mindset. So when we see the gap between parents and the youths, that the parents then recognize that there is a problem, but may downplay the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So
said
they
this.
keep but in my time, I was able to do it. So you need to be able to do it. I
Yeah.
acknowledge that you are stressed, but so they always add a but behind.
Yeah.
I think of late, more youth are feeling anxious and all that because, you know why? Because some, I'm not saying all, but some parents are rather closed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the kids feel like they can't go up to their parents and tell their parents everything.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
I know
think
it's a hard thing. It's not easy.
The word generation that she used, I do think it is a generational issue. Dealing with their mental health and all that. In fact, just on Facebook, on our Big Show TV, we were talking about what the obstacles, why such a big stigma. You mentioned generation, right? And I'll be the first to admit, I'm very guilty of that. I'm the first person to go, well, when the younger generation complain, I'll go, my parents were worse and I survived, and then you then pass this on to the next generation who then starts feeling stressed as well. How do we break out of that cycle?
I guess awareness is already very, very important for us to have that openness to go and learn more about the different methods and alternatives, because sometimes why children or youth say that there is a generation gap is because the previous generation is very rigid in the way that they do things. The next generation is also very rigid and nobody wants to yield, right? And therefore, the gap occurs. So when we are working with the youth and dealing with mental well-being, it's helping them to see the rigidity and to come to a compromise also, come to that middle ground, something that is comfortable for both parent as well as child. Yeah,
Okay.
and that is exciting to do in sessions when we are able to navigate that.
All right. Okay. Dr. Jerry has a whole team of wonderful therapists. So if you think you need to see someone, then get in touch with them at the therapy room. All right, Jerry, we've run out of time. Before we let you go,
Yes.
your quote.
Yes. Today is not a quote. Today I am going to try and say something in Korean. I hope I pronounce it correctly. It's really, are you okay? So it's 괜찮아요, I think. I think it is 괜찮아요.
You must be confident.
Quintanayo.
You must be confident and say Quintanayo. Is that what you just said?
I think you anyhow say, Shalini, do you happen to know?
Shalini knows. Shalini, how do you say are you okay?
괜찮아요.
Quintanayo.
No, Quinchanayo.
Yeah.
Quintanayo.
Quinchanayo.
Okay, I'm not
What was
so. No. What is that? Oh dear, there's holding people.
Oh,
Just asking,
Quinchanayo.
are you okay?
Quinchanayo.
Yeah. It's a softness. Quintanayo.
Quinchanayo. And then when the person doesn't respond, then Quinchanayo.
Okay.
Okay, anyway,
Oh my
enough of
God.
that.
But yes, I think it is important for us to ask each other, are you okay?
All right. Tim, are you okay?
I'm all right, bro. How are you?
Okay, I'm okay.
You okay?
Shalini, you okay? She's okay. Cheyenne, are you okay? Yep, thumbs up. Jerry, are you okay?
I am okay, and my team is raring to go. I need to leave all of you soon. We
All
have
right.
a train to catch.
Okay. Thank you
It's
so
not
much once
the
again.
word. No, just kidding.
Thanks, Jerry, for checking in with us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, okay?
Yes, 2 weeks.
You take care.
time. See you.
Have a safe
Bye.
trip.